What's up guys, it's Supercreek back for another Umamusume video. So today we're going to be going over the brand new El Condor Pasa fantasy version and Grass Wonder fantasy version, as well as the brand new support card or support cards that we're going to be getting for the new banner, as well as a brand new one that we're going to get from grinding event that we usually get right about like once a month now from what it seems like. But yeah, before we get started though, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe. Would really help me out trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. With that being said, let's get right into this. So yeah, 2 new Umas, technically 3 new SSR cards, which is kind of cool. They're actually not half bad. Same thing with the Umas, actually not half bad. But yeah, let's get started. So starting things off, we got El Condor Pasa fantasy version, or Kukulkan Warrior. She's gonna have 100 speed as starting base. She's gonna have 91 power, 75 stamina, 97 guts, and 87 wit. Her main one being speed. For the highest one, then it's gonna be guts. She's gonna be great on turf tracks, but you can make her work on dirt tracks because she has B ranking, so you can make her work on those. For distances, she's great at mile at A, really great at medium for A as well, and then she can work in longs as a B. For her styles, she has E front, so not really that great. Pace, really good for A. Late, also really good as a A for late. And then finally we have end as C, so not really that viable. Her main growth rates here are going to be 15% for speed and then 15% on guts, so not bad, at least for the speed part there. Her unique skill, Condor's Fury, increases acceleration with blazing passion when aiming for the front from the mid pack on the final corner. Basically saying that if she's in the pace as a pace chaser or a late runner, maybe end, but preferably more so later pace, she's gonna get an extra acceleration buff, which is really good because acceleration means you get a lot faster, while velocity also not being half bad. Now her potential skills here, which are going to be the ascension skills, we have Unyielding Spirit, slightly increased passing ability for miles, 120 skill points. Her third one, level 3 here, Furious Feet at 160 skill points, increases passing ability when positioned toward the back late race, only for miles. We have 1,500,000 CC for cost 120 skill points, slightly increased velocity on an uphill as a late surger. Then we have Rising Dragon at 180 skill points as the final ascension here, increased velocity when passing another runner on the outside on the final corner as a late surger. So a lot of these want her to be a late surger and not so much a pace chaser, which is a little bit interesting. Next one here we got Grass Wonder. She's gonna have 102 wit, so that's gonna be her main one, or like the highest that she has base. Then we have power at 97, then we have speed at 91, then we have stamina at 83, and finally we have 79 with guts. She's gonna be great at turf tracks for A ranking. She's really horrible in dirt at G. Distances, really horrible for sprints at G. She's really great at miles as a A. She can work in mediums as a B, and then she's also really great at longs as a A. Her styles, she's really horrible in front. She has A ranking for pace chaser, A ranking for late runner, and then finally end closer or whatever is F ranking. So she's only going to be really good as a pace chaser or a late runner. For growth rate, she has 15% in stamina and 15% in wit, so actually pretty good stuff right there, because currently guts isn't really that usable. Her unique skill, Superior Heal, recover endurance with a gentle light, with a gentle light when dropping down toward the back mid race. Or dropping down. I'm guessing that maybe means like if she like kind of backs up a little bit, she gets a little bit more recovery potentially. Now for ascension skills here, level 2 we got Trick Front, costs 140 skill points, slightly increased fatigue for rush runners behind when positioned toward the front mid race. So probably as a pace chaser or front runner, most likely pace chaser, you can make that work. Level 3, cooldown 160 skill points, decrease fatigue by taking a breather upon entering a straight on long races. This one sounds actually quite good in my opinion. Level 4, Late Surger Savvy, 110 skill points, moderately increased ability to get into a good position as a late surger, not too bad I suppose. Finally, last one here, Ascension level 5, Relax at 180 skill points, recover endurance late race as a late surger. This one's also not too bad as well. I think cooldown's a little bit better, but Relax also sounds quite nice too. But yeah, overall not too bad. I think El Condor Pasa is slightly better in my opinion, but you know, I think there's some benefits out of Grass Wonder here with the cooldown effect and then the superior hero not being too bad either. And then here's the brand new support card. So we have Sea and Sky here. It's going to be a wit card, and then a special effect here for the career event, Vanguard Spirit at 160 skill points, increase ability to maintain the lead when leading by a large margin mid-race for long races. It's not too bad. Basically, it just helps you stay in the front more. But yeah, like not too bad of a skill there. The next one here we have King Halo. And then let's see, we have Career Event, Blinding Flash, 160 skill points. Increased spurting ability when positioned toward the back, late race on sprints. To be honest, I'm not too sure what spurting does exactly, or the spurting ability here, but I'm assuming since it does mention when positioned toward the back late race, I'm guessing spurting is just gonna be like the skill that, like, I would assume basically helps your Uma like pass by other Umas. I'm assuming that's what that would be here. And then let's go on. So let's take a closer look at our girl El Condor Pasa fantasy version. See exactly what we're working with here. So here's our main stats here: a max ascension for max dupes, 122 speed, 91 stamina, 112 power, 119 guts, and a 106 wit. But doesn't mind you if you do get full dupes, which why would you go for that in this game? Because it's unless you're like a big whale, right? You don't really need to do that. And then here's her innate skills. So these are skills that she's going to be able to, or she's will already come with basically. Home Surge Haste, slightly increased velocity in the last spurt. We got Updrafters, slightly increased passing ability when positioned towards the back late race for mile races. And then Outer Swirl, slightly increased velocity when passing another runner on the outside on the final corner as a late surger. So honestly, pretty good stuff here. It seems a lot of her stuff though does want her to be preferably a late surger, which is pretty interesting. Then we have Awakening skills here, which we already went over, and then here's going to be the Evolve skill. So, Furious Feet. This one was the one where increases passing ability when positioned toward the back late race for miles. This one, if you win the Mainichi Oken, or you win any graded mile race 2 times, and you get at least 2 skills for mile aptitude, then you get an upgrade to Unparalleled Bravery. And for this one, basically, if you do any mile race, if you're in the back of the pack during the final part of the race, or final leg, your passing ability will greatly increase, so that's not too bad. And then we have an alternative trend upgrade here, where you win the NHK Mile Cup, or have at least 800 speed, and have at least 600 guts, then you get Condor Leap. So for any mile races at a random point during the final part of the race, or final leg, your speed will increase. This one seems a little bit not that great because it does say a random point during the last part of the race, whereas this one's kind of more guaranteed, like whenever you're in the back during the half, you'll get a greater passing ability. But at the same time, having a speed increase is still really good. The problem being though is that it is a random, so that kind of sucks a little bit in my opinion. Moving on, we have Rising Dragon. So Rising Dragon, originally what this one did was this last one here: increased velocity when passing another runner on the outside on the final corner at late surges. That's a really good one. And this one basically, if you win any graded race as a late surger 2 times and get at least 2 skills for late aptitude, then you get Rising Condor. Between her during the final corner, if you overtake somebody or someone from the outside, your speed will increase. So basically just giving you more speed if you're on the outside of every other Uma. And then here's some other skills you can get from her events. We got Soft Step here, slightly decreased fatigue when moving sideways. For medium races, you got Wet Conditions, moderately increased performance on good, soft, and heavy ground. This one's not too bad. You got Calm in a Crowd, slightly recover endurance when surrounded mid-race. This one actually isn't too bad either. Given some situations, we got Go with the Flow, moderately increased navigation late race, which is a better one because this one's going to help you meet some of these other conditions, because some of the other conditions also do want you to have pretty good navigation, so that's a really good one right there if you're able to get that. And then here's going to be all her races. So we have the usual make debut, then we have place 5th or better in the Kyoto News High, then we have place 5th or better in the HK Mile Cup, then we have place 5th or better in the Tokyo Yushin Japanese Derby, then we have place 3rd or better in the Mainichi Okan, then we have place 1st in the Taraka Zuka Kinan, then we have place 1st in the Japan Cup, and then finally we have place 1st in the Army Kennen. So not too many races, honestly. My opinion, I kind of like this a little bit more because I kind of like Umas that don't have too many races, because it does make doing career days a little bit quicker. So that's pretty good. So if you're interested in something like that, then hey, there's like not too many races here. It's like 8 total, so not too bad. Granted, some of the time frames between some of these are gonna be a little while, but honestly, it's like not that bad, right? Well, and I think it says how many days you debut here. So I think the first big race is 14 days, then the next big one's going to be 16, and then yeah, so not too bad, but pretty interesting regardless. Anyways, let's take a look at Grass Wonder here, fantasy version. So for max dupes, you get 111 speed, 101 stamina, 119 power, 96 guts, and finally ending it off with 123 wit. Whenever we went over those, we got innate skills. Let me just double check. Those aren't the pace chaser. Yeah, okay, I know these are different skills. Just one double check. So we have pace strategy here. Slightly recover endurance when passed by another runner mid race. Let me just double check something. Okay, I know. One double check something. All right. Next thing here, we got deep breaths. Slightly decrease fatigue by taking a breather upon entering a straight for long races. And then finally here, a small breather. Slightly recover endurance late race as a late surger. Okay, so let me just go over these one more time. Slightly recover endurance when passed by another runner. So basically, if you get passed by, then you get some recovery back. Deep breaths. Slightly decrease fatigue by taking a breather upon entering a straight. So whenever you hit like just a straight on a long race, you're gonna get some more stamina recovery. And then finally on the last one here, you do recover some endurance on a late race as a late surger, just as long as you're a late surger and if it's the late part in the race, I guess. Okay, finally now we went over the awakening skills. So here's going to be the more important ones, evolve skills. So what can some of these skills get upgraded to? So we have cooldown. So cooldown originally, what it does is decrease fatigue by taking a breather upon entering a straight. So basically you just get more stamina as long as you hit a straight on a long race. So now the upgrade is going to be if you get at least 4 recovery type skills, which are going to be the blue ones, or you get at least 3 speed type skills, which I think are going to be the yellow ones, yellow orange ones, eventually some of the green ones, but most likely just the yellow orange ones, and you have at least 600 stamina, then you can get Curely Heal. And then for any long races, at a random point during the middle part of the race, your speed will slightly increase and your stamina will recover. It's actually quite good because now you also get speed increase as well with your stamina recovery. So that's actually quite a good upgrade right there. We have Relax here, and then Relax, originally what Relax did is the last one here, recover endurance in late race as a late surger. And then what this one upgrades to, as long as you get, so the conditions for this one are going to be win any G1 race as a late surger 2 times, or get at least 2 skills for a long altitude, and you have to have at least 600 or 800 wit. And then you get, the upgrade is going to be Conjuring Courage. So then betweener here, at a random point during the middle part of the race, if you're not in the front, your speed will slightly increase and your stamina will recover. So very similar to Curely Heal, but this one does require you to be basically towards the, basically not a front runner. And I don't know if pace chasers will still count. It might, but I'm not too sure about that. Granted, since she wants to be preferably late surger, most likely pace chaser will not account for that, and that will probably also, I mean, being a pace chaser may also count as you being in the front. So this may not activate, so you may want to just actively just keep her as a late runner if you want to activate this and have this be useful. But yeah, it's not too bad. Then we have her skills here from events. So we have competitive spirit, moderately increased performance when at least 5 other runners are using the same strategy. Then we have the 1,500,000 CC, so increased velocity uphill as a late surger. We have quiet breathing betweener during the second half of the opening race. If you're not in the front, your stamina will slightly recover. We have sharp gaze here, slightly startle other runners late race as a late surger. So basically, like every other runner will be kind of stunned at like the very last part of the race, essentially, as long as she's a late surger. Finally, here we have up tempo, slightly increased positioning ability when positioned toward the front mid race, medium. It's not too bad, I suppose. She doesn't really have a lot of need for movability or position ability, but at the same time, that's like honestly not like a bad thing, because at the same time there are chances where your move might get unlucky and may get blocked in, especially if she's going to be towards like the late, right, and on the back. But yeah, not too bad, I suppose. But yeah, not too bad for the skills here. Now here's going to be her races here. We got the usual make debut, then we have place 5th or better in the Asahi High Futurity Stakes. I said that completely wrong, sorry about that, guys. I always apologize for my pronunciation for some of these words, because I don't really know how to say them, or these races. Next we have place 5th or better for the Tokyo Yushin Japanese Derby. Then we have place 5th or better in the Japan Cup. Then we have place 3rd or better in the Army Kennen. Then we have place 3rd or better in the Tarakazuka Kinnen. Then we have place 1st in the Mainichi Okan, and then place 1st in the Army Kennen. One thing I would like to say is that it looks like a lot of these have the Mainichi Okan, at least for Condor and Grass Wonder here, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, same thing here, not too many races for the most part in terms of the amount of total races, but the amount of turns is about equivalent, if not maybe slightly more, with Grass Wonder spread around. for the amount of turns you're going to have, right? But the amount of races overall isn't half bad. So if you're looking for shorter races, there you go. But granted, right, the turns might drag it out a little bit, but at the same time, it's not too bad, right? For all of that. Yeah, honestly though, not too bad. We'll definitely look at a little bit more detail as to like whether or not like which one's better, which one's worse, and you know, all that good stuff in a little bit here. But before we do that, we gotta look at support cards, right? So looking at first here, we got Sea and Sky, the Wit one as the SSR. We're gonna look at it as Zero Dupes, and then we're gonna look at it at MLB. So as Zero Dupes here, you get a unique effect of your speed gain will get increased when training together by 1. Increases initial wit when beginning a career playthrough by 20, so you get 20 free wit, which is kind of cool. Friendship bonus 25%, increase the effectiveness of friendship training. We got wit friendship recovery 3, increases energy regen from wit friendship training, so that's actually really cool. So basically you get free extra energy whenever you do any wit training with this card. We have specialty priority 10, increases frequency at which the character participates in the preferred training, so that's actually very good. Got training effectiveness 5%, it's not half bad as well. Hit level 1, also not too bad. And then we finally have hit frequency 20%, increases the frequency at which hit event occurs, so 20% is like a decent amount. Now, at MLB, we're looking at a lot more better stuff. So, friendship bonus is now 35%. Wit recovery is going to get upgraded to 5, so a lot better. We have specialty priority, which gets bumped up to 20. Training effectiveness now becomes 10%, so a lot better. Hint levels becomes level 2, so makes it even, so gives you a better discount basically. Then we have hit frequency getting upgraded to 30%, so an extra 10%, so not too bad. Then we get these extra bonuses here, a speed bonus 1, increases speed gain when training together, and then finally initial friendship gauge 30, so basically making it a lot quicker to get to that, to get to those rainbows, to get even more stats right away. So not half bad. Honestly, these stat upgrades for MLB are not half bad in my opinion. I think these are actually quite good for the most part. Granted, not having the training bonus, the race bonus does kind of suck a little bit, but at the same time, having training effectiveness being a decent amount here by 10%, I think it's also still pretty good for the most part, regardless. Now, going over to the hints here, so this is basically where you're going to get the discount. So we got long shot, moderately increased performance when fourth favorite or below, inner post proficiency, moderately increased performance in brackets 1 to 3. Tail held high, slightly increased velocity after activating many skills mid-race. I like this one because this one's not too bad. Granted, it does depend on what Uma and what skills you do have, right? Then we have a bunch of debuff skills. Hesitant pace chasers here, slightly decreased velocity of a pace chaser late race. Frenzy late surgers, increased time needed for late surgers to calm down when they become rushed. Then we have trick front, slightly increased fatigue for rush runners behind when positioned towards the front mid-race. And then we got stat gain of +6 wit and then +5 skill points. So this could be a decent card to be running for any of those debuffer evil nature decks or builds you may want to go for, because it does have a decent amount of debuff skills here. Then we have skills from events. So you know how each card has their own events. Depending on what choices you make, these may pop, you might get one of these, right? And then these are just going to be like whatever cards, like whenever the card pops up with like the exclamation mark, it'll be one of these randomly that you'll get a discount on, basically, is how that works. So skills from events. Frenzied pace chasers, increases time needed for pace chasers to calm down when they become rushed. So literally ties in, you got pace chasers here. I guess it's actually not slightly different, right? Because this is the skill here, but there's no discount for this one exactly. Yeah, not too bad. Then we have Vanguard Spirit, increased ability to maintain the lead when leading by a large margin mid-race. For long races, not too bad. Then we have Keeping the Lead, slightly increased ability to maintain the lead when leading by a large margin mid-race along. Granted, these sound more like you want to be a front runner kind of front, maybe pace chaser even, for these to be more viable, because I don't think these are going to be good for like end closers or late runners, but it's not too bad, I suppose. But yeah, overall, not too bad of a card. I definitely think it has some usability, but not super amazing at the same time. But it's not half bad is what I'm trying to say. It's not half bad. Now, next card we got King Halo here. Same thing, we're going to look at it as Zero Dupes, then MLB. So as Zero Dupes, got a unique effect, increases the effectiveness of friendship training by 10%, so that's pretty good. Increases the frequency at which the character participates in the preferred training by 20. Then we have friendship bonus 25%, so that's really good. Hit level 2, that's also really good. Hit frequency 40%, also really, really good. Training effectiveness 5%, pretty good for already. Specialty priority 35. Increase the frequency at which the character participates in the preferred training, that's pretty good. Actually quite high as well. And then initial friendship gauge at 15, also pretty high. So at MLB, we're now looking at 5% more friendship bonus for 30%. Hit levels go up to level 3. That's really, really good. We got hit frequency at 50%. It's also really, really good as well. That's very significant. We got training effectiveness 10% now, so that's also really good. Spell surgery priority gets bumped up to 50, so that's also quite huge. Then we get initial friendship gauge, which goes from 15 to 20, so an extra 5. Then we get power bonus 1, and then initial power by 30, so you get an extra free 30 for your power when you do begin a career. So overall, really good stuff at MLB. You get significant buffs on a lot of these, so this is very, very nice. Like I said, there is no, it looks like this one doesn't have any race bonus, but at the same time, a lot of the other buffs here make up for it significantly, in my opinion. So here's going to be your discount skills. You got outer post proficiency, moderately increased performance in the brackets 6 through 8. We got firm conditions, moderately increased performance on firm ground. We got cloudy days, moderately increased performance in cloudy weather. Corner recovery, slightly recover endurance on the corner with efficient churning. That one's not half bad. Wait and see, slightly decreased fatigue when positioned toward the back mid-race on sprints. I guess that's okay. Got gap closer, slightly increased sprinting ability when positioned toward the back late race for sprints. Also not too bad, I suppose, but not super crazy in my opinion for these discounts. If anything, the green discounts seem, or the green skills and like the blue skills, or the recovery ones seem to be the best ones here. And this gap closer one seems kind of whatever. But you do get +2 stamina and +6 power just generally from using those anyways. And then these are going to be the skills that you do get from this card itself. Skills from events, also, you know, depending on what choices you make during the events whenever the skill does pop up. So we have stop right there, slightly cause panic and runners ahead when positioned toward the back early race. For sprint runners, or for sprint races, we got Umamusume, slightly increased velocity when close to many runners. This one I think can also be pretty good. We got gap closer, just another one here basically, we'll run over. We got blinding flash, increased sprinting ability when positioned toward the back late race on sprint races. That actually sounds quite decent. Then we have home stretch haste, slightly increased velocity in the last spurt, which is my personal favorite. I really love home stretch haste. So pretty cool stuff here. Personally, I think green and blue is pretty good. The gold one here isn't too bad. I mean, granted, I could be wrong. Maybe sprinting is really cracked and I don't know about it because I haven't really used gap closure that often, or at least noticed it. But yeah, overall it's not too bad though. Not too bad for what it does give. Lastly here, we got the free-to-play support card that you do get from grinding the event. I will let you guys know though, because I did take a little bit of a sneak peek. This card is apparently not that great. It's actually kind of dog shit, but we'll take a look at why that might be the case. Alrighty, so let's take a look. So we might as well just go to a full MLB to be honest, because you know this is a free-to-play card, so most people will be able to get MLB. Though I say that and I literally missed two support cards SSR that were free to get because I didn't farm enough to get the card, which honestly kind of wish they made farming a little bit easier in this game for these free to play cards, because it's a bit of a grind, not gonna lie. It's a bit of a grind that's like a little bit too much for me currently to try and get these cards on, because the amount of points you need to get is like kind of nuts in my opinion. Anyways though, let's take a look at what we got here. So max MLB here, unique effect, increased power gain when training together by 1, increased frequency at which hit occurs 20%. That's very low actually, very low, especially for MLB. Well, granted, you know, unique effect usually doesn't change, but still it's very low. Friendship bonus 25%, that's not too bad. Mood effect 20%, so amplifies the effect of mood when training together. I mean, that's okay, I suppose. Training effectiveness 10%, that's fine. That's the usual amount for a pretty good standard right there. Initial friendship gauge 20, that's okay. Would be better if it was like 30, but it's decent. Skill point bonus 1, increases skill point gain when training together. I mean, I guess that's all right. Hit level 3 is actually quite good, so it's not just too bad. And then we have hit frequency at 40%, also not too bad. So some of these upper ones are kind of not too crazy. Actually, hold on, let me see. If you get increased frequency at which hit occurs at 20%, and then you get an extra 40% here, that gives you 60, so that's actually quite good. It's actually quite significant, but maybe the hints itself aren't that great. So let's take a look. So here's going to be all the skills you get at a discount, which there's a lot. Okay, we got a lot of skills here. So we have sympathy, moderately increases performance when many runners share a sympathetic heart. I don't really know what that means. We got end closer savvy, moderately increased ability to get into good position as an end closer. We have standing by, slightly decreased fatigue mid-race for end closers. After school stroll, slightly reduced fatigue on a downhill for end closers. Inside scoop, slightly increased velocity when near the inner rail on the final corner for long races. Pressure, slightly increased velocity when passing by another runner on a late race for long races. Umamusume, slightly increased velocity when close to many runners. Straightaway spurt, slightly increased acceleration on a straight on the last spurt as an end closer. We have Highlander, slightly improved running on an uphill. Groundwork, slightly increased acceleration after activating mini skills early race. I can see right through you. Slightly widened field of view with situational awareness when moving sideways as an end closer. Strategist, slightly widened field of view and position toward the back late race as an end closer. Intense gaze, slightly unnerve runners and focus late race as an end closer. Finally, we have smoke screen. Moderately narrow the field of view for runners ahead late race as a long runner. Then you get +6 speed and +2 power. So yeah, that's a lot of skills. I wonder if maybe like the fact that there's so many here is what makes it like not that great and why it's considered kind of ass, is because there's like so many here that like you may not even see like really good ones from like the amount of hints you may get here and there. So then that way you might get some of the more bummy ones that are kind of ass, and like you might not even have a chance to see like at least some of the gooder ones, or some of the better ones here, like Uma's stand or pressure might not be too bad, you know, or some stuff like that, right? So, and the overall skills here, like there's only a couple that seem not have bad, but then some other ones just seem kind of like whatever to me. But yeah, that's like a lot of skills here. Then we have skills from events here. Long straightaways, slightly increased velocity on a straight for long as a long runner. We have inside scoop, or long races, I mean. We inside scoop, slightly increased velocity when near the inner rail on the final corner. And long races, innate experience, increased velocity when near the inner rail on the final corner. For long races, a lot of inner rail stuff, which is interesting. We got Maverick, moderately increased performance when no other runners are using the same strategy. That could be potentially useful every now and then. Then we finally got Hanshin Race Course, moderately increased performance at the Hanshin Race Course. So yeah, not too crazy I suppose, but at the same time I don't really like that there's so much here, so I'm going to assume that since there's so much here, this is one of the main reasons why it's getting docked. Not to mention the fact that some of these aren't super crazy. But yeah, I just feel like since there's so many here, it's going to kind of screw you over into like getting anything like more worthwhile for whenever you do like have this card pop up for any hints, right? So yeah, there's that. Anyways, let's take a look at the doc that we've been using as of recently. Really good doc here, really good resource. Lets you basically know most general information, especially for Umas, like what are their strengths, what are the weaknesses, and all that good stuff. So as usual, 1 means really dog shit, or basically if you like them, cool. Otherwise, but at the same time, you know, they're not good, so you should know that. And then 5 means really, really good, meta, you know, best thing in the game, basically, right? And then they throw into 3 picks here. We got runners, team trials, and parents. So let's go on to where our main Umas are at. So starting things off here, we got El Condor Pasa Fantasy Version. So for rating, she's given a 3 for late as a late runner. We got Team Trials as a 3, and then also as like a mile late runner. And then so for mile races, a late runner, and then finally we got Parent at 4. So 4 is closer to 5, so she's a really basically a really good parent, almost meta as a parent. And then she's basically middle of the road, not too crazy but not too bad. Yeah, not too crazy but not too awful or whatever. For being just a regular Uma that's running in late races as well as in team trials, specifically as for mile races as a late runner. So let's look at a little description here. Fantasy Pasta gets Excel, which when trying to overtake someone on the final corner. So when the last spirit is on the final corner, she can luck into some Excel. You'll most likely want to pair her with speed skills that trigger on the final corner to trigger overtake mode. Though most such skills are for pace chasers, her unique can be inherited for Excel purposes, but there's generally going to be better options. Both her golds are a little inconsistent in team trials, especially Furious Feet, but Furious Feet can be used as another gambling skill in Mile CM. So basically just saying that, like, yeah, she does have some benefits here and there, but overall you don't really need her, and there's going to be way better options in the future anyways. But yeah, so like basically just saying that she's not bad, but there's going to probably be better options, and the stuff that she does give isn't like crazy enough to where it's like worthwhile for the most part, but at the same time, like, not too bad. Next one here, we got Grass Winter Fantasy Version. We got late as a 2 as a main runner. Team Trials is going to be 5 as long late. For long races as a late runner, and then finally got Parent as 4. So Grass Wonder looking a bit better because she's closer to weight. You know, there's more stuff that's closer to 5. It literally has 1 at 5 for Team Child, and then also 4 as a parent. So she's really good as a parent, basically almost meta. And then she's basically considered meta for Team Trials, specifically for any long races when you throw her as a late runner. And then as an overall runner herself, she's not that great, but you will have to build her anyway. So, you know, kind of like not defeats the purpose, but something interesting with that. So Fantasy Grass Wonder here is called a Healer Grass because she heals. Her kit has the equivalent of more than 3 gold heals, and with both golds being buffed on the second Annie, they're all good and consistent. In CM, her lack of any tools beyond healing makes her a poor performer, and by the time there are acceleration options and long for late races or for late runners, Sakura Laurel is released and overshadows her. Her unique skill is also a 0.55 heal when inherited, which is generally one of the best options for long late runners and end runners, as they don't have access to Ryan and Dobroff on most long tracks. So basically what it sounds like is Grass Wonder will get buffed in the future, so some of her skills will be a lot better, but by the time that does happen, she is probably going to be power crept by another Uma called Sakura Laurel, who sounds like it's just going to be like a way better version of this Healer Grass or Fantasy Grass Wonder. So yeah, let's see, before we go into show you pull for the banner, let's finish off here with going to another tier list, specifically going over the support card. So this is going to be the JP one because the global one hasn't been updated yet. So let's take a look. So we got the first one here, going to be the King Halo. So we're going to look at King Halo first. So King Halo is going to be, and let's take one more look at where it's going to be. It's that one. My eyes are starting to get a little tired, so my vision is going to get a little bit weaker here. Let's see, King Halo is going to be, it's going to be right here in C tier for MLB. So not super high up, but not too low. So it's like, you know, clearly outdated, but not too bad. Next one here we have on Wits, which is going to be the Sea and Sky one. This one is going to be, so basically it's considered D tier at 3 dupes, and then C tier at MLB. So kind of the same thing, not really that great, but you know, it's okay. And then finally we have Goldship, the free-to-play one, the one you get from the event if you do decide to go for MLB. But at the same time, it is a free SSR speed card, so that's kind of cool. But sadly though, it is A tier. It is very bad at MLB. So if it's cards this low at MLB, that's not a good sign. Now let's take a look at this other tier list, which is a little bit more concise and more focused on global. So going focusing on power again, if we look at to where the brand new King Halo is going to be, this one is actually considered a B tier at 2 dupes, and then at MLB it is considered A tier. So very, very strong, very, very good. Though to be fair, it is competing with 2 SR cards, so that's kind of not too crazy, but at the same time, it's still not a bad card to get if you were to get an MLB, but definitely not a card I would say you need to go after yourself. You can definitely skip it if you really wanted to, but at the same time, at MLB, it is actually quite strong. Now, moving on to the second one, the support card one with Sea and Sky. The Wit one, I don't know why I call it a support card, but it's Wit. MLB is considered A tier. It's actually quite strong. Same thing though, it is competing with other SR cards, but at the same time, you don't really have anything else considered that's like a really good Wit card. So this is like literally your second best option as a Wit card. That's an SSR card specifically, right? Granted, to get the best benefits out of this, you will have to have an MLB. Otherwise, you might as well just stick with your other 3 really good SR cards that you can get MLB like way more easily, right? But yeah, that's where that lands. And then finally, going to speed here with the Goldship one. This one is sadly at E tier. They consider it not to be that great, and as we went over and looked at it, it doesn't really have a lot of benefits, and there's like way too many skills that you get discounts for that, like some are decent, but there's like so many that like you can't really optimize which ones to go after that'll get discounted. So I think that's another reason why it's probably bumped down so much, because there's like way too much stuff there that like it just does not make it worthwhile your time. But hey, you know, maybe if I don't know if this wedding one from the last event with the wedding girls with like my on the top gun and all that, I don't know if this one is specifically up here, because remember that from the last video or last couple of videos, I don't know if this one's gonna be rated up. I would assume it is from future banners from this point on. But if it is, you know, hey, this one's like a really good way for you to get this MLB, right? Like, this one's actually kind of a little bit more worthwhile. But yeah, the Goldship one, honestly, if you really wanted to, you could probably skip out on grinding this current this upcoming event, because the overall MLB SSR card, yes, you will get a free MLB SSR support speed card, but as you guys can see, it is considered E tier at MLB. So even if you were to get MLB, it's kind of dog shit. So you could, if you really wanted to, I'd say it wouldn't maybe be necessarily a bad idea if you wanted to kind of be lazy with this event and just not grind it as much. You could totally do that. Maybe just go for the one copy just to own it. But at the same time, you do get some decent rewards out of farming the event anyways. So it's really up to you. But yeah, kind of, if you really wanted to, you could probably skip out on this. Alright, sorry for this video being so long, guys. Alright, to finally wrap things up though, should you summon for the banner for El Condor Pasa, Grass Wonder, or the support card banner? Honestly, same thing. You could definitely skip this. We definitely have like actual pretty good banner coming up fairly soon, within the next maybe like couple weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So if you really wanted to, you could totally skip out on these banners because you don't really need El Condor Pasa Fantasy and Grass Wonder Fantasy, as well as support cards. Like, they're not bad, but like, and they're actually kind of good, but they're not like super overpowered. Like, you don't really need either one of these banners. I, however, will be doing pulls for El Condor Pasa Fantasy because I do like the Uma, like, and like I always say for every other or last couple of videos, if any of these are your favorite Uma, go for them. I don't know if that's the same thing, if that applies to the support cards, but if you really like support card, I mean, you can go for it if you wanted to. But in terms of Umas, as usual, if you like them, fuck it, fuck the meta, just go for who you want. But if we're looking at meta-wise, they are good, but you don't really need them, especially with the much better Umas that are going to be coming out very soon. Specifically, Summer Marzinski, who's going to be like our first actual like major top pick. Technically, second one will be Christmas Oguri Cap, which should become I can't speak apparently, which should be coming relatively soon, maybe by November, potentially most likely Christmas, I mean like December time. But yeah, with that being said though, if you guys did make it to all the way to the video, all the way to this point, I greatly appreciate it. Consider you know, liking the video. Like I said, it does really help me out. It does go a long way, as well as subscribing, because I'm sure there's many of you guys who do watch these videos. I don't know if you guys watch it all the way, but if you do, you know, I greatly appreciate that. But you know, at the same time, if you do watch these videos and you're not sub, please sub if you're interested in this kind of content. It does help me out. It's literally free. It takes one click. Like I said, I do really appreciate it. But with that being said, let me know if you guys are planning to summon for any of these characters or the banners, like support card banner, because they're also not too bad, but at the same time, not really crazy. But with that being said, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.